Still, one more game now for Noble. Heading into game 2, what do they have to do to really adapt to this playstyle? Or do you even think Eager will bring out the split push again?
I really just don't want to see Whalrus picking up that hog again personally. I think that while the idea behind it is good to try and combat Eager's objective control, I think that he's better off just going ahead and picking up a TP, especially if they see that Eager is opting for this split push potential again. He needs to just go ahead and have that TP online, because I also think it would have been better in helping his team out in certain team fights that were happening across the map where he couldn't get back to them as fast as, you know, a solo laner would ideally want to.
The problem was he had to go into the Raft to start off to deal with Divios going to the Raft as well. He's created a meta, Divios, where the solo laners now have to adapt to the Raft style coming out of the solo lane, because now not only do you clear speed blue quicker than your opposition, but you also have to worry about that 3:20 respawn timer on your own blue, where the solo laner could potentially invade that. So he built into the Raft, and then he wanted a team fight relic second round, going for the curse, trying to shut down the healing coming out of Sylvanas. 15,000.
Yeah, and that's when we saw that other teleport picked up from Divios. They have the double TP, so effective. Even when they won the game, we saw DJ and Divios back to base, teleport back in, so they were all healthy. Game 2, though, no Bastet ban coming out. Eager, though, on the order side this time, banning away Odin and Sobek. This is telling me they're looking for a Raw.
It has to be the Raw. You have the anti-healing coming out of the Odin cage, a soft anti-heal with the Sobek, and without any hesitation locking it in. Best was doing phenomenal with it day number 1. Luminosity didn't respect it in their set, electing to leave it open in the second game, and that's when he even turned it on harder.
Is this wise, Taco? Like, two games to play, 2 games won. Eager started this tournament decimating Luminosity, the first seed coming into Group B in all of North America, and then it's been banned away from them every game until this one.
Best has been itching to pick up this Raw again, and I definitely think that it was a pretty poor decision on Noble's behalf to go ahead and let that Raw slide through, because I guarantee Eager's probably going to be looking for that double gradient composition as well with the Odin ban coming in. So I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for Noble to try and break through this.
Well, Noble's going to go for the Bacchus Jing way. They're taking that away from Zapman.
And the thing is, if you're going to leave Raw open, you might as well leave at least Guan Yu open, so you can take that for yourself, so you could have some sustain to battle the sustain coming out of Eager. This is the whole plan for Eager. They really like any sort of sustain. We saw Sylvanas last game.
Yeah, that mismatch, and it has been, there's been 4 primary gods when we're talking about sustained compositions built around it. The Ra, the Guan, the Terra, and the Sylvanas. The Sylvanas is the only thing left open, and I mean, would you even expect Eager to go for the Sylvanas here too? Just the double sustain?
I think Eager are only going to opt for that Sylvanas pick if it fits their composition really well, and if Noble doesn't have any kind of hard aggression to really punish the Sylvanas, because if you notice in the last game against the Athena, Sylvanas is actually a pretty good decision to pick, because when Athena, every single time Wobbn was trying to dash in with that Athena, immediately Aror was just responding with his ult.
Ultimate,
and there's not much, there's zero follow-up that he can do, because even if he does manage to get a taunt off, he's still in a really uncomfortable position, and a lot of times it was leading to him getting picked.
I don't think Sylvanas is going to be picked for Eager here, because number 1, Xingwei will be able to dash away during the knockup. Bacchus can't get knocked up during the burp, and on top of that, Eager likes running Erlang Shen on Aror to set up Best for those easy 1-4 combos. We saw him against Xenotronics playing the Agni, being easily able to throw that javelin toss, rooting him, crippling him, and then Best just found free kills every single time.
Yeah, I was talking to Xenotronics actually after those sets and yesterday as well. He said he never plays against Raw, and he almost never plays against Erlang Shen in the support or jungle role, where, you know, the constant, aggression there in the mid lane. He's not used to that, and he was really surprised at that damage potential, and he said he had to make some serious adjustments for the rest of the games this tournament on his positioning when it came to these high burst mage ults.
Yeah, I mean, Aurora is also one of the support players where he's not even commonly referred to as a support. He's known as the second jungler for his team, because Aurora is definitely somebody that loves to aggress, he loves to get up in your face, and he loves making you burn your actives. But I also really like what Noble is doing, though, opting to go for the Bacchus and Jingwei, because I think that that's going to apply a lot of lane pressure to try and combat this Erlang Shen. No matter what Zapman picks, I think that it's really good for Noble to just have the free CC poke.
And Noble have taken shots at Zapman in the second banning phase. Rom and Freya locked away from him. We could see his Chronos come out. We did see it the other day. Again, 4 for 4 in the online stages, 21, 1, and 25, I think. He only died one time on this god in 4 games. That's not easy to do.
The way Eager plays in the dual lane with Aror rotating around, playing that secondary jungle role like you mentioned, allows Zapman to get the levels that he really needs. And that's very beneficial to play the Chronos. And I like what Noble have done also. They're picking up Janus as the global pressure in the mid lane. So now that's going to allow the side lanes to really go up if they wanted to. Maybe this is a strategy that they took away from Eager because they wanted to bait out the raw pick so they wouldn't have to deal with the Janus, because Best last game with the Janus was also pretty impactful.
And something to note too about that Nemesis, you do have the Retribution Shield, which is going to absorb a lot of that raw ult, give you a little bit of health and fire some of it back, and maybe that's enough.
And maybe we might also be seeing the split push coming out again from Mr. Pernicus on that Bastet. I mean, we see him hovering it now, and he's going to lock it in. So I think this time around, Noble are definitely in a better position than what they are last game already, considering the fact that they do have the Janus for the global pressure to respond in case Pern does try to split push. So I think that that was pretty good for Noble.
Noble are gonna have to figure out what went wrong in game 1 and adapt, because Eager didn't even want to take any fights. We saw Noble really the ones winning any smaller engagements. We saw a lot of ganks on at Divios. Noble looking for their last pick. It's going to be Whalrus once again. What are you expecting, Tolly?
I'm hoping for a Ymir pick, actually, trying to shut down the Raw. If you can able to wall him off, that would be a good option. As well as Erlang, Shen wouldn't be able to go through it. Soul would be stuck. Ratatoskr would have to use the ultimate.
And we did see him pull it out day 1, so definitely something that Divios is willing to pick up. But it's going to be the Sun Wukong. Before we head to the casters, final thoughts. Are Eager going to Super Regionals, Tolly?
They're going to Super Regionals off of this game.
I think they're going to Super Regionals.
I have to agree, too. I think this is going to be Eager's win. They're going to make the Super Regionals. But it's Hindu and Aggro bringing you the cast for this game.
Thanks so much, Janus. Looking over these compositions again, I said at the end of the last cast, maybe ban Ra and Bastet and force Eager to do something different.
Instead, Eager gets Ra, Eager gets Erlang, Eager gets Bastet. The picks and bans here for Noble overall, not what I was hoping for going into this game.
The reason I mentioned the Ra and Bastet bans as well is to force Eager to show their third composition, show what else they've got. Actually put some pressure onto Eager to learn in the future, not have a strategy that's not been run before.
Right, so to ALG and LG sitting in the stands, your first pick, you ban Ra, you ban Bastet. I mean, in our opinion, but we suck at the game, so
that's true.
Completely ignore us, actually.
Although Noble eSports, that last pick, I feel really should have been Osiris there. Osiris would have been great against his composition. Laning phase, obviously physical protection against the jungler, which is a Bastet, against the Ratatoskr in lane as well, and the ultimate that can anti-heal, which is going to be very important. I think Osiris would have been the pick here.
And we saw Whalrus do great work with it. Yesterday, he was able to solo Scary D.
But
so
pick some Wukong.
I agree. There's no reason to not pick Osiris there. It would have been a very strong pick. The only anti-heal really left to Noble. You don't want to be getting Divine Ruin on Janus. It isn't as efficient as a god like Agni. You probably don't want to be getting Brawlers on Nemesis even. You could. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mirage go for it. But this really limits the anti-heal options that Noble has with this composition.
Yeah, there's a lot of sustain that we see on the side of Eager, though. It's constant sustain and more mobility that they always seem to go for. Not necessarily full global mobility, but at least semi-globals if they can get them.
A lot of dashes and a lot of mobilities for Eager, like you mentioned. You've got the dashes from Divios, the pounce from DJ, the 72 transformations from Aror, Zapman with a Disapparate. 4 of their 5 gods have movement abilities to help them get around. And then there's Ra, who, yes, he doesn't have any movement abilities, but his passive gives him extra movement speed.
So at the beginning of this game, we're going to see TheBest playing that Ra this time round as well. And he's going to be starting things off with a Soul Stone as well as the Helm start, which is also the same sort of way Adoro's going here.
So when we were talking to Chaos, we talked a lot about these 2 different starter items you can go in the mid lane. Do you want to go Vampiric Shroud, or do you want to go Soul Stone? Best going for Soul Stone is going to allow that beam to clear the wave a little bit earlier, getting those 5 extra auto attacks in, and then hitting that extra 60 power on your next ability that you use is crazy, crazy strong. Plus, whenever you've got a tick ability like a Poseidon Whirlpool or a Raw heal, you actually get that 60 extra power onto your heal for the scaling on every single tick. It makes the heal a lot stronger.
Now look at the pull that Eager did there as well. We don't even talk about the pulls at the start, but it was the fact that Aror pulled it, so Best could, first of all, stack up his Soul Stone, then fire the beam through that also hit the back minions. Very, very good start from Eager there, just to be very consistent and make the most of it.
Min-maxing for Eager. That's what Eager likes to do best.
Yeah. I was like, very consistent.
Very
whatever,
consistent, and we've used the word cerebral probably too much at this point, so we'll try and stay away from it.
That's why. Right-hand Harpy's going to go the way of Eager, as well as the Fire Elementals too. Look at the rotation from Eager to the left-hand Harpies again, though. They're going to get all 3 camps here.
Unbelievable. And Divios also picks up the experience from the right-hand mid-Harpy, so he's going to be significantly ahead of Whalrus in that solo lane.
Okay, so what should duo lane of Noble done there? I mean, they've stayed in lane, they've pushed the wave out, but the boys of Eager are going to be back in time. Should they have rotated?
So instead of the mid and jungle from Noble coming to the right side and trying to contest it, they should have given those up, because we saw Eager send DJ out to the solo lane to get pressure there, and they should have been grouped as 4 on those left-hand Harpies to contest the rotation coming in from Zap and Aror. They shouldn't have given those up for free. Trade them out.
Well, already a small lead for Eager. It's about 400 gold, 4 to 500 gold, I should say, at the start of this one. Whalrus very low, Divios a little bit healthier at the moment, both in the same amount of potions as well.
But this favors Divios right now, because not only can he get that Acorn without having to back, we talk about that a lot with Ratatoskr, his ability to buy that ever-important Acorn that gives him the power and CDR he needs without having to back, but he also gets sustained from that. Once he gets that 3rd tier of the Acorn, he gets health by using his abilities, so he's going to have extra sustain that Whalrus won't have on Sun Wukong.
And he could also upgrade that in lane without going back to base as well if he gets the opportunity to, which allows him not to have to go to the teleport, I guess, as well, if he doesn't get beat down too early.
Exactly. Hopefully Whalrus is able to realize that he needs teleport on the second relic here, instead of going for meditation or weakening curse. But on the same token, Noble needs a weakening curse. They really do. And with Eager not going for a sprint here, I'm very surprised to see Noble, specifically Wubbn, not pick up curse. If he was able to pick up curse there instead of sprint, it would have made Ra's life extremely difficult for the first 12 levels.
He seems really worried about the slows, though, that are coming out from the team. It seems to be Noble's call here. That's why the sprint's been picked up. I mean, you've got Ra, who's going to be slowing consistently, and Bastet Cats, just those 2 things on his own, let alone the stellar bursts.
Oh, there's a ton of slows, and the sprint pickup in general is very good, and I understand the reasoning 100%, but without a sprint on the side of Eager, we've seen a lot of supports now. It's Aror and Jeff Hinla do really love this shell right at the beginning of the game. We saw Aror use it to great effect last game, saving his own life, saving the life of Divios in the solo lane as well. So I understand the shell pickup, but they kind of luck out that Noble doesn't go for the weakening curse, because without sprint up against weakening curse, you've got no way to get away from that AoE team fight slow that also reduces the healing that Ra can put out.
Well, the first time we saw the Erlang, Shen, and the Ra combined together coming out from Eager, they did get a lot of punishment off. Divi's going to walk into 2 here, and I don't think he expected to see 2, but he's going to force an ult for an ult trade overall.
There's the Nemesis ult. He's going to go in here, gets the knockup, and then the snipe DJ is able to pick up Mirage.
Oh, the Cats to block the shot, so Divi's can try and get away over the wall. Adoro did damage, but it wasn't enough, and the Kitty Cats are slowing down the clone from Whalrus that was even chasing him as well.
Divios giggling his little tiny rat butt all the way back to base.
The bait was great overall there. Divios reinitiating there, knowing that Pernicus could follow up. On top of that, Adoro is just so unlucky not having the damage to pick up the kill.
Very close. Sanctuary force out from Adoro. There's a taunt into the snipe. Best hits it. Who's surprised? Not me.
Almost we've seen the Erlang Shen Ra combo again. Before, sorry, should I say, and it's going back to what it was. No one's really answered the Erlang Shen so far from Aror. No one's done it themselves. They've just let him have it when he wants it.
And Adoro going for Sanctuary doesn't want to be able to purify away that pin. Instead, it's not like a silence or a stun. You can use Sanctuary during that to immune the damage. But the problem with that is Aror forces it out and then uses the taunt right away. Best able to hit it off of that ultimate from Erlang Shen.
On top of that as well, the pin from Erlang Shen. I always mention it, but it is a cripple if you connect it dead in the center. And against Adoro on a Janus, that's the best thing you could hope for to shut down a Janus, cripple him so he can't go through those portals.
One of the best basic abilities in the game. I mean, ultimates, there's always discussion, what's the best ult in the game, all that kind of stuff. Pin is one of the best non-ultimate abilities in the game. It's just so easy to confirm from a distance, and it's an extremely long root cripple. You see, Erlang is basically now used as a setup god. We saw him a lot in the solo lane. I think we saw Cope play him in the solo lane as well. But he's not, I don't know, he doesn't feel like Osiris or Robin, who are just there to fix your face and beat it in. Erlang's there to set up for you, and that long-range setup confirm that's so easy and so quick to hit makes him incredibly powerful.
Well, Wowy doesn't rotate away from that because he knows he's got Mirage coming around the back. Pernicus didn't use abilities there, though, so still has his pounce, and the ultimate trade from Mirage there works out in Eager's favor.
Mirage definitely did not need to use that ultimate. We saw Mirage have a couple really, really good games on Nemesis overall, but the ult target selection, not the best from him. We saw him use it a lot onto characters other than Barracuda whenever it was Barracuda carrying the game against them. So we'll have to see if his target selection is a little bit better with that ultimate this game. Right there, forcing the issue probably a little bit too much.
Experience on the side of Eager, definitely all in their favor here. Every single lane is ahead right now. 3.3k at just on approaching 6 minutes.
And that's not a good sign for Noble whatsoever, because this raw sustain comp is only going to get stronger as the game goes on. Yes, Noble will have the extra tankiness that Eager will not. They have a True Guardian, they have a Warrior in the solo lane, whereas all Eager has for tankiness is a Warrior in the Guardian role, which does favor Noble overall, but as long as they can continue to snowball this lead, the raw sustain will be too much for Noble to handle. They won't have the damage to punch through it.
djpernicus has 1,000 gold lead over a Mirage. Yeah, some of that will come from that first blood, but he also shows superior farming coming out from him as well, and these rotations are hot everywhere.
And neither of these gods are particularly known for their great early games, but like you mentioned, DJ just making the best of his time all the time. We saw him not waste his ultimates on the right side.
Now in pressure as well, forced to ultimate defensively. The tick damage will still go through, however. The Cloud did not heal him in time. This time, though, Noble looking to answer back with a Gold Fury.
No Wrath, though. It's only Whalrus who has one, and Best is here to snipe it away. Here goes a huge taunt into the snipe. Mirage is going to fall. Wubbn's going to fall as well.
And on top of that, Wobbn falls down, and now Aror runs for his life through the portal. Wowy back to mid lane, and now it's Eager's turn to go for the Gold Fury. Nobody can really stop this from Noble other than maybe Aror.
And Best is just smiling, man.
Snipe coming out.
Here it comes. Not going to be able to steal the Gold Fury. Very close, though. I like the attempt, but the Wrath was there for Divios. At least forcing Divios to come over and respect that ability from Aror to try and steal it away makes Divios lose some farm. You'll see him lose a wave and right hand already, and he's going to lose this one as well.
But the team as a whole go ahead even further. So even though Divios loses a little bit, Eager march on. They're going to get the right hand Harpies here as well. Blue buff available for Divios to take. And actually, you can see two members of Eager heading that way to make sure they share that as well.
Just being efficient with their farm. That's how they got this lead, and they're going to continue to do it. Zap taking a boxing fight with Wowy on that right-hand side. And the passiveness that he's known for not really being shown. We saw him try and get the solo kill on the Zap earlier last game.
Mirage, though, looking towards Zapman, and Zapman's under a lot of pressure here alone. Didn't have this apparate as Wowy did most of the work there. Mirage gets credit for the kill, and it's a very similar situation for Zapman that we saw against the Barracuda situation the other day.
That's the best case scenario for Mirage, because not only does he get the kill on the Zap, but he does what he loves to do, and that's dive a tower to get it. We saw Mirage do a ton of that during the online stages. They're able to pick up a kill onto Zapman, and that stops the bleeding just a little bit.
Does it, though?
Puts Noble on the board, gives Wowy a slight chance to get back into this duo lane, and also gives Mirage some much-needed farm.
Whalrus under pressure, no ultimate available, low on mana here. Enough for an Ox farm, though, to get away back to the tower, and Divios will take the opportunity to go back to base as a rotation for Noble was on its way.
Nice unstable Vortex actually hits both there, but here's the problem. You've got a raw heal that's just going to heal both of these characters up. Best just looks so comfortable on this god, but on point with the snipes, 2 for 2 thus far.
And they're trying to pressure mid lane here, Eager, but 3 members here with Wowy now rotating in as well. Aror took more poke there from Aror. Aror engaged on under the tower. The Gust is going to knock him into an awkward spot, but the heals could be available for him if he can get to him. Into the turtle farm, the sustain and his ultimate sustain comes into play, and Aror's back to decent health once more.
A good snipe from Aror hit the target, but it just wasn't quite enough damage, sitting at level 9, whereas Aror already level 10, and Aror just now finished those penetration boots. If he had those online, it might have been enough damage to kill this
Now Wowy rotated all the way over to mid to help out there when he was coming back from base, but that allowed Zap to pressure, and now Zap's got some pressure on, doing a good job on his own, but once again, Pernicus arrives. The bleed will tick through, and Pernicus picks it up. Meanwhile, mid lane, Best also takes out Wubbn.
Looks like he used that ultimate, I'm assuming, just because of the history that he's had so far this LAN,
It's on cooldown.
that it was that he was able to hit it. 2 kills in 2 different lanes for Eager, now extending their gold lead to about 5,000.
It almost feels right now as we watch Mirage go aggressive on Pernicus into the whole team, however. Looking for the kill. Can he clean it up? No, he can't. The heals come through as well. And on top of that, the Best will get credit for another kill. Mirage suiciding basically into the team there. Unfortunate.
We've reached the I'm just trying to make plays stage.
Yep.
We're at only 10 minutes, but this game already looking not very good for Noble, and they're kind of resorting to just having fun and trying to make some individual plays that we can put on a highlight reel for them.
Helps Eager out, though. They'll be quite happy with this situation right now. They got to a good start here. They get these points. guarantees them the shot in Super Regionals. Obviously, ranking and order that you finish in the group will dictate who you play from the other group, though, at Super Regionals. So getting first makes it a bit of an easier time if you like the look of who you could be against in second.
Without a doubt. And Eager does have another game or set remaining here today up against a Legion. So even if they aren't able to find the second win in this set, even though it looks very likely that they will, they'll still have a chance to secure that top seed in North America for Group B.
On top of that now, Pernicus is going to rotate into Noble's jungle. Find the blue buff available, look to steal it away. Whalrus on the way round, but can he get there in time with a Jingu? Bang! Not today, my friend. He'll hit the kitty, but the kitty doesn't really care.
DJ just, again, he looks so comfortable on this god, and I really, it's
really
this is best case scenario for Eager. I tweeted about it during day one. Best case for Eager or any team that's coming to a LAN like this is having your first game going on an off-meta god and looking great on it. It forces other teams to ban it. And we've seen Eager have that raw banned away from them, and now they've got two off-meta gods that look unstoppable, Raw and Bastet.
And even Erlang Shen can be starting to creep on that list as well, played by Aror here. I mean, he's done good work with that. Divios backing against 4, has no ultimate. Divios, what were you doing?
That's a perfect bait. Ultimate target selection there from Mirage. Not a whole lot of options, but he got the right one. Divios teleported in to a slew of damage from Noble. Not only did they get the kill on him, but they secure that right-hand tier 1 tower.
Well, it looks like Noble were thinking about marching on for a tier 2 there, but they lose their tier 1 tower in mid, and now their tier 2 towers under pressure in the mid lane from Eager 2. The minions are getting to stay nicely, and it's actually going to force the airstrike out of Wowy, who's going to chase down Pern a little bit.
Pern, no mana left, really. Doesn't have the ultimate. Aduro hits the snipe, just trying to give Wowy a good angle in.
And Wowy's going to come around the back again, and it's actually going to be a Mirage that cleans this one up. So Noble, in the little skirmish battles, it's working out better, at least for now.
That's how it usually goes for them. Zapman makes the rotation in. Aurora is doing as much damage as he can. Double taught into the snipe! Best hits both!
So this has been executed so well. Aror will land the pin, then taunt, then knock up straight from the turtle to guarantee the snipe. The best knows as soon as the pin comes out, he's gonna knock him up, and that's why you see the knock up every time. He's just making sure the CC chain is so good they cannot escape the knock up, the ult from Best.
Good lord, dude.
It's mad.
Best is nutty.
And now,
here's a double pin. The ultimate coming down from Soul. Aduro's gonna fall. It was all a bait, just waiting for Noble to come around the corner. Tons of damage coming out, and that's another kill for Eager.
Meanwhile, Pernicus in the enemy jungle against people available, maybe looking up for cleanup on Wobbn, who doesn't have his flop available just yet. In comes Divios looking to clean it instead, and Divios will get credit for the kills. The rest of Eager are doing the Gold Fury.
At least this pulls Divios away from the Gold Fury, so he doesn't have a Wrath, but it doesn't look like Noble's going to be able to get there in time. Divios able to come over and make sure that this Gold Fury goes the way of Eager, and now we're at 8,000 gold lead at 13 minutes.
See, I would have preferred to have seen this out of Noble day 1 so we could watch them learn, because we've seen them come so far this tournament, and then to start the day on this sort of situation for Noble, it hurts.
It does hurt, and Eager just looks like the team that is going to be the first to secure their spot for Super Regionals, and well-deserved because of the different types of compositions that they're bringing. Yes, Luminosity was the top card coming in here, and they're the ones who are known for playing the more traditional style of compositions. They play the same sort of things every game, but they're just better than you at playing those things. But Eager, they were the wild card coming into this group. Everyone knows that they like to pull out some different strategies. Yes. They don't like to follow your meta. They like to make their own.
They're a LAN team, and on top of that, their regular split wasn't great. The online stage was not the best performance from Eager. They know that themselves. They didn't put the full focus in, it seems. They didn't manage to get the compositions together, but once the groups were announced, they went full man mode. They came in with at least 2 strategies we've seen, and both of them have been very, very successful.
Ultimate forced out from Whalrus because of the rotation from Aurora, and look at DJ. He's just waiting for
the whole team is waiting. Adoro will ult though, and now Best gonna actually stand there just in case more people came through. But because of that, Whalrus will cheekily escape through those portals thanks to Adoro's help. In the left-hand side though, Wowy versus Zapman's going on, and Wowy's losing the trade.
He has to use the ult. He's very low, but Zap wisely backs up, sees a Mirage on that Gold Fury ward, but he's actually not. He's stinking around.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the kitty cat is fighting the fat man, but Zapman is in an awkward spot right now. Still wants to fight Mirage here, realizes it's his only option is to fight the good fight, and Mirage actually losing this trade a little bit harder than they expected.
Both forced to use the Sanctuary.
Oh,
Zap
it's close.
waiting to turn around.
It's
You know
close.
he wants it. Waiting for his cooldown. So is
so
Mirage.
close. Now
He's
Mirage-
going to get out.
No, Mirage knows his
No.
attack rate's down. Mirage could have his dash up. Stellar Burst is available though, and Mirage has to juke it.
This is
so-
I've seen this on Zap stream
Ooh.
10 times, man. I swear to God I have.
Did you notice how he like fainted? But who's in the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's not even needed, because Zapman will get the kill.
Zap grin, man. Zapulated. Not even close.
It was a fun fight.
It was a fun fight. I'm surprised. Mirage must not have had a shield up, because if he were able to return that damage, maybe he's able to trade out into Zap instead. Zap is level 16 and Mirage is level 12. That's the end of this story. If Mirage is a higher level and able to trade more effectively, Zap never gets down to his towers or anything like that. He dies as soon as that Sanctuary wears off by the Gold Fury pit. But DJ keeping Mirage down, making sure he's on his speed buff, on the blue buff, taking farm away from the enemy, and it's helping out his teammate.
Well, level 17 on Best in the mid lane. The joint highest in the game with his solo laner Divios here. And at the moment, I think Eager are just enjoying the state of the game right now. The pressure seems to be starting to relax a little bit on them. They realize they're in a very comfortable spot. It's going to be so difficult for Noble to come back into this now. So they're just slowly bleeding them, finding the kills that they want as well, and then continuing to take some objectives.
That's true, but the veteran presence on this team, they're not going to let up the gas pedal at all. DJ is in no way going to let Noble have a lane to this.
You say that, hang on, there's a fight in mid lane, I'll come back to that point, but still, the fight not going great for either team right now. Aror still in there, looking for the pins if he can find it. The Best is already, look at him, he's looking for the snipes, but the taunt did not find its mark from Aror.
Did you see how far back Best started to move as soon as he was able to? Just even though he wasn't in any danger, still wanted to be his max range for that ult.
Divios in the sky now, looking to land into the tier 2 tower in mid lane. It's already weakened down. He goes to the back. The snipe does connect. And it was on its own, but at the same time, it didn't really kill anyone. Divios kept him busy at the back. Tier 2 tower falls.
Tier 2 tower falls, and Noble still very low. And look, this is what Eager's comp does best. Group up after a team fight, sit in the raw heal, and we'll all be healthy. Gold Fury's not up for them, so they aren't able to go for that. But with Cat still available, they could look to push down this tier 2 tower on left.
They could indeed, but I don't think DJ wants that. I think back to farming on the left-hand side instead here. And we were talking about the fact that Eager won't let the gas off the pedal. Well, they kind of did at the end of the last game, so it wouldn't surprise me if they end up doing that again.
I think that was more Noble just punching back and finally looking like a cohesive unit for once in that game.
Here we go again. Zapman under pressure from the mid lane, but it's Adoro who's taking the brunt of the punishment because Aror was there. Aror beat the crap out of him then and forced Adoro to ult defensively.
And now Best just trying to body block the minions, but Wubbn has the jump up. And now, yeah, I mean, Aror can beat up Adoro because he's the same level as him. He's got tons of damage online. Exposed weakness is starting to be leveled. That's where a lot of Erlang Shen's damage comes from.
Warriors as well. I mean, you see them build full tank and they still do decent damage in engagements, and that's just going to allow Aror to play the same sort of style you'll get out of a warrior in the solo lane.
That's what you're built to do. And we were just about to take a look at the healing overall from Best. He's got more healing than the highest damage number on Noble.
Mirage gonna get to the portal in time, I think, here. Just about. Kiddies will not be able to chase through that, unfortunately. Imagine if they could, though.
Just taking the portal?
Kitties just take the portal for you.
One of my portal just brings so many fun interactions to the game, man. You can do some weird stuff.
My call for Janus is that enemies can go through the portals to close them. They take damage for it, but enemies can go for the portals.
That's how you change?
Just the ultimate one. They could go for the ultimate one, they won't close the portals, but they could walk through it and they take damage.
Okay, but doesn't that make some really strange interactions where like sometimes you don't want to go through the portal, but you're standing on a wall and you just get sucked through? That's not what you want,
I want fun. Left-hand side, aggression again. Best over the wall, looking for damage. Not going to find it, however. Aror happy to tank up this tower for his team. Zapman bringing it down. And tier 2 falls. One left remaining for Noble.
Now 15,000 gold. Eager is basically gaining about 800 gold a minute on top of Noble. Almost 1,000 gold per minute. I mean, unbelievable right now. And look at the healing. Over 8,000. It's almost over 9,000 right now. And the highest damage number is only 6,000 right now for Noble. The raw heal has been insane. He's done a ton of damage as well.
I will say your reading of numbers is very good.
Thank you.
No problem.
6,689 damage for Best. Next on the list is Aduro. He has 6,657. Next on the list is 6,494 for Whalrus.
It's the only thing on this commentary that's actually been correct. That's what I love about that. Thank you so much. Fire Giant is being looked at by Eager now, but mainly it's the tier 2 tower on the right-hand side that they're looking for as well, especially with Aror leading the charge down this side. And Noble, you're going to struggle to defend this. Whalrus is here, but he's alone right now.
Fire is totally open for Eager, but you may as well just push down this right-hand side, make it so Noble has nowhere to go. This isn't as much about getting the gold off the map like most tower pushes are. It's just making sure Noble has got no retreat path unless they use through space and time.
1,500 gold more in the coffers. Aror versus the world on the front side. But I say that as the squirrel comes in as well. Aduro forced to pull defensively at half health. And Eager falling back towards the Fire Giant.
That's 2 ultimates burned on the side of Eager, though. This could make Noble's engage on the Fire Giant a little bit easier, but even if it were a little bit easier, it's not going to be easy by any
Kitty
stretch.
Cats are down. This looks like a full commit from the boys of Eager here to bring this down. Wrath available for Divios as well to stop it. Aror on zoning duty, and Wobbn will walk in, and he'll walk away as fast as his fat little stubby legs can take him.
Both teams popping the sprint, trying to get out of dodge here, but it's Eager just trying to chase him down.
Divios.
No ultimate from Divios, though.
No, the portal will come into play, though, to allow Doro to recall back. Whalrus in the mid lane is pushing, so there's only one option for Eager to push down, and it's the right-hand side Phoenix, with Whalrus being in mid, 4v5, and Noble are not even going to try and defend.
There's a snipe, but it's just going to get healed up right away. Look, Zap's already full health from the raw heal. The snipe was completely useless.
And now they're going to re-engage again because 2-minute people are still here. Pin does hit one member, which was Mirage, and instead Eager not going to commit their head towards the mid lane.
Best just being so patient with these ults right now, waiting until he knows he can get an important hit onto someone on Noble.
This looks like Orbit versus Sanguine right now in the first game of Group A. Wowy at the back, took a lot of free poke from DJ there. He's going to limp back to base. Has that passive, but Divios, the squirrel is up.
He wants a Duro shell pop by Wubbn, just making sure he's going to be able to get out. Divios just playing zone duty right now. You can't get anywhere near us because otherwise you're going to get knocked up and sniped by Best.
And now the final defense for Noble on the left-hand Phoenix. The Shelly's popped, Aror goes in, the taunt hits only on Wubbn though. The stuns are very good, the kitty cats are dropped. Wubbn engages though with the flop to slow them down, but Aror gets credit for the kill. All the while,
there's a snipe!
Oh, he hits it, but it's not enough for a kill.
Almost. Wow, we get a fall to DJ. Hit both there. Best hit a Duro as well, forcing him back to the base. That's 3 Phoenixes down, 2 members of Noble down, and it looks like Eager just wants to end.
They want to farm, that's what they want to do, and they're going to farm characters in the game. Mirage going to fall down next, the Titan is falling, and the minions are still not even with them yet, but they may still be able to just end this and backdoor it to victory. Congratulations to the first North American team to make it to Super Regionals. Eager.
Well deserved by Eager. That's the end of that's the total story for me, basically. Came in looking extremely prepared for this LAN. Had the compositions, had clearly practiced some off-meta gods, the Bastet, the Raw. Best finishing 5-0 that game. Looking phenomenal yet again. Didn't miss a single snipe all game.
No, and a good performance from overall. I mean, overall, the weekend, they only dropped 2 games, I believe, but they didn't lose a single set at all. Coming into this group, they were technically, in my eyes, seeded as second just because of the way they played against the other teams in the online split and the fact they did beat Allegiance already in that. But against this team of Noble here, Noble came out strong on day 2. Day 3, oh, we regressed a little bit, though.
Yeah, a little bit of regression, but you can still go home if you're Noble and looking pretty okay, but they still got another game to play. I believe they still have a game up against Luminosity, and you know Allegiance is going to be rooting for them to take those because that's very important. If LG are able to find that 2-0, I believe they guarantee themselves for Super Regional.
That's a big point there. Eager have qualified. Allegiance and LG are now fighting for that second spot. Janus, walk us through that game.
Well, not really much to walk through that set, really. This was just Eager coming out prepared to finish off their event. Obviously, they still have one more set to play, but they've qualified for Super Regionals. Got to be a good feeling amongst those 5 players.
Yeah, I don't think Eager are planning on letting down the gas pedal either on this. I know that they want to go ahead and try and secure that first seed for Super Regionals. That would be ideal for them. But Best, he's been wanting that Raw since day 1, and Noble was finally the first team to let him have it, and the rest is history.
I thought it was going to be permanently banned away from him. I think even Best thought it was going to be permanently banned away from him, but Noble didn't really want to deal with that split push strategy, so instead they're like, okay, let's let him get the Raw, we'll see if we can deal with it. Doesn't really work out.
The problem is it's not just the Best playing the Raw, it's also Aror playing the Arlong Shen, just always setting him up for those easy snipes, and that's what makes Eager click so well. They gave up the Jing way, no problem. They wanted to get the run. I'm surprised that the Guan Yu and Terra was banned away from Noble. They could have left Guan Yu open, and they could have tried to fight fire with fire, getting a sustain god for themselves.
Unfortunately, though, it doesn't work out for them. But I do have to shout out Aror, right? We've hyped up TheBest so much, but he is not hitting these free casting. These are all set up and planned by his team. Aror specifically always just camping those mid laners.
Yeah, his mechanics are pretty much perfect when you think about it, considering that it's not just the taunt from the Erlang that he's making sure to secure. He's also going ahead and knocking them up just in case Best has like the slightest chance of missing, just to ensure that they're securing it.
And we saw Aduro as well. He went for the Sanctuary instead of the Purification early, and then that meant that Aror was just going to taunt him with his ult instead. Doesn't even need to rely on the pin.
He was afraid of what happened against Xenotronics. The Root was setting up the snipes, but he forgot that Arlong Shen has other forms of CC into the taunt, into the knockup.
Well, what are your final thoughts on Eager's performance so far in Group B, and kind of what you think we can expect from them moving forward to Super Regionals?
Honestly, I was kind of expecting Eager to come out top of this group, just because of the fact that if you look at these players and their past performances on LAN,
Lanimals,
all of them, every single one of them has had great performances on LAN, and so this is kind of just the Eager that I was expecting to see.
The fact that they were able to bring out every single thing that they wanted to in the draft is just truly amazing for overall, and I would say that this is definitely Zapman's year.
Well, cut short 2 years in a row. Zapman is a single best of 5 away from finally qualifying to Worlds. Tom's got the interview right now.
Zap, first of all, congratulations. Like Kevin just said, you are a single set away from Worlds. You and I sat down for almost 2 hours the other day really talking about it. Why don't you just tell me a little bit, again, sort of what you did before, about how badly you want this, man?
I want it so bad. I mean, I've been playing this game for about 4 years, and I've always been one game away from making it to Worlds and always just coming up short. So to make Worlds this year would be a dream come true.
One of the things that I like about watching you guys play is y'all play your own brand. You understand what Eager is and what your team is good at or whatnot, and some fans might grow when you bring out the split push and everything, but talk to me a little bit about how you guys have developed your own strategy and sort of forgot about the meta.
Yeah, we know coming into the LAN, a lot of teams, they're a little bit nervous and they want to just stick to what they know, what they won with in the last split. But for us, we didn't win any games last split. So we went with a whole new strategy. We came up with our own meta, our own strong picks that we feel like other teams wouldn't even have thought of to play. We came in here confident with our strategies and we pulled them off.
I mean, it's not just the Ra, you got the Arlong Shen support, even seeing the Sylvanas come out. You know, how often, because we don't see that during the SPL really, how much work and effort do you do behind the scenes to really make Eager?
A lot. You know, the month leading up to this LAN here, we just scrimmed all day, like 5, even sometimes 8 hours a day or 2 scrim blocks a day. And definitely my team is probably one of the hardest working teams out there, and really proud of the guys to really just buckle down, scrim 7 days a week, and it showed here in the LAN.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I've always seen the glimmers of Eager. I've always been on the analyst desk saying, look, Eager's the team to do it, and then somehow you kind of falter. Something's different this time. I can't put my hands on it. You probably can. What's different about Eager this time around?
It's definitely the preparation. I mean, all my other teams, we did put in the work, but not enough to really, you know, take it to the next level. But with this team here, no one's, you know, short on motivation. Everyone just wants to work hard and they want to put in the work so we can get to Worlds and maybe even win Worlds. We'll see.
Well, it certainly paid off. Zapman and his team Eager has taken their individual meta and their own style of Smite, and they've got themselves secured for a trip to at least Super Regionals. 1 best of 5 separates you and your team from the Smite World Championships. We've got 3 more matches on the way. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more hi-rez TV.
I'm running away from my past I left behind. I'm looking for